Listen carefully. This message is not here to entertain you. It arrived because something ended quietly in your life, and you almost missed it. You tried to ignore the signs. You told yourself it was nothing. You convinced your heart to stay silent. But today, the silence is broken. There was a presence around you that smiled while watching you weaken. Someone who knew your fears. Someone who studied your patience. Someone who stayed close, not to protect you, but to drain you slowly. You felt tired for no clear reason. Heavy without explanation. Blocked even when you were doing everything right. That was not coincidence. A snake does not always crawl on the ground. Sometimes it sits at the table with you. Sometimes it speaks softly. Sometimes it uses kindness as camouflage. You trusted. You opened your heart. And you paid the price quietly. But hear this clearly now. That presence is gone. Not exposed loudly. Not confronted dramatically. Not removed in a way you could celebrate. It was eliminated silently. You may not even realize when it happened. A sudden distance. A strange coldness. A name that no longer feels safe to think about. Yes, the name will hurt you. Because the truth is painful when it removes illusion. Because what you believed was loyalty was actually control. Because what you called love was slowly stealing your peace. You are not weak for feeling shaken. You are awakening. That snake stayed as long as it could. And when its time ended, it left without warning. This is why your energy feels different today. This is why your mind feels clearer but heavier. This is why memories are resurfacing without permission. Do not run from this feeling. What is happening now is protection, not punishment. You were being watched carefully. And at the exact moment you were strong enough to survive the truth. The removal happened. You were spared from something worse. From betrayal that would have destroyed your trust completely. From words that would have broken you deeply. This is not loss. This is rescue. And if the name that just crossed your mind made your chest tighten, that is confirmation. Stay here. Do not skip this moment. Because the next part reveals why that specific person was allowed so close, and what they were trying to stop in your life. What comes next will change how you see your past, and your future. Stay with this moment. Because what you are feeling right now is not confusion. It is recognition. That person entered your life at a very specific time. Not when you were strong. Not when you were protected. But when you were open, hopeful, and becoming something new. That is never random. Some people arrive not to walk with you, but to measure how far you can go. They listen more than they speak. They observe more than they care. They ask questions that seem harmless, yet every answer becomes a key. You wondered why sharing your dreams felt draining. Why after talking to them, your motivation dropped. Why progress slowed the moment they knew your plans. That was the work happening quietly. They were never meant to stay. They were allowed to come close only to reveal one truth to you. Discernment is a form of protection. The reason the removal hurt is because the mask was convincing. The kindness felt real. The support looked genuine. But something always felt slightly off. A delay, a doubt, a shadow. You ignored it once. You ignored it twice. And then life stepped in before you ignored it a third time. That is why this happened now. The presence that left was interfering with something that cannot be delayed anymore. A turning point. A breakthrough. A shift that requires clarity. They could not come with you. And they knew it. This is why they tried to confuse you. Why they subtly questioned your worth. Why they reacted strangely when good things were coming your way. Not because you were wrong, but because you were rising. The name hurts because you trusted it. The memory stings because you believed in it. But the pain is temporary. The protection is permanent. What left your life was not meant to witness your next chapter. Some eyes are removed before they see your elevation. And here is the truth most people never hear. If they had stayed longer, you would have doubted yourself more than them. So the separation happened silently, cleanly, decisively. You did not lose anything valuable. You gained space. You gained clarity. You gained your energy back. Pay attention now, because the next phase brings signs you cannot ignore, and confirmation you were never imagining the danger. Do not go anywhere. What unfolds next explains why this removal had to happen before your next blessing could arrive. Pause for a second, because what you are about to realize changes everything. The removal was not the end of a connection. It was the end of interference. That person was standing closer to your future than you understood. Not by accident, not by luck, but because they sensed what was forming around you before you did. Some people feel threatened by growth they cannot control. They do not attack openly. They distract quietly. They make you second, guess your timing. They question your instincts in subtle ways. They make you feel too much or not ready yet. And every delay benefits them. This is why things felt stalled when they were around. Plans slowed. Momentum faded. Confidence wavered. You blamed yourself. You thought you were tired. You thought you were overthinking. You were not. You were being influenced. The reason the separation feels strange is because it interrupted a pattern you had normalized. You got used to explaining yourself. You got used to shrinking your excitement. You got used to carrying emotional weight that was never yours. That weight is gone now. And here is the revelation that makes people uncomfortable. Not everyone who supports you wants to see you succeed faster than them. Some want a front row seat, not to celebrate, but to compare. That is why your peace began returning the moment distance appeared. That is why your thoughts are sharper now. That is why ideas are flowing again. You are stepping back into alignment. What left your life did not have permission to cross into the next season. The door closed because the timing demanded it. And this is important. If you try to reopen what was removed, you will feel resistance immediately. Not punishment, protection. Because the future opening in front of you requires focus, clarity, and courage. There is no space for hidden tension. This is not about resentment. This is about release. Let the name fade. Let the attachment dissolve. Let the lesson stay. You are not behind. You are being safeguarded. Stay here. The next part reveals the signs you will start noticing now that the interference is gone, and how to recognize when your path is finally clear. Do not rush past this moment, because what is happening now is subtle and powerful. After the removal, silence arrives first. Not loneliness. Silence. The kind of silence where your mind finally hears itself again. Where your chest feels lighter for no obvious reason. Where decisions feel clearer without long explanations. This is the sign most people miss. When interference leaves, life does not shout. It breathes. You may notice small shifts. Sleep improving. Focus returning. Old ideas resurfacing with new strength. These are not random changes. They are confirmations. Something was standing between you and momentum. And once it was removed, movement resumed. The reason you were warned not to ignore again is simple. Your intuition already spoke before. You felt discomfort but chose peace over clarity. You chose familiarity over truth. That cycle ends here. Because now you know how protection feels. It does not feel dramatic. It feels calm. And here is the once in a lifetime realization. Not everyone who leaves was taken from you. Some were stopped from taking more. What could have cost you years was ended quietly in time. The name still stings because memories take time to dissolve. But the power they once held over your emotions is weakening. You are reclaiming yourself. This moment is important because it defines your next boundary. You will notice red flags faster now. You will sense imbalance earlier. You will no longer need proof to trust your inner voice. That is growth. Do not reopen doors that closed without effort. Ease is a message. Resistance is guidance. You were not abandoned. You were advanced. Stay present. Because the next part reveals what replaces what was removed, and why the future approaching you now is stronger than anything you lost. Take a breath and stay here. Because what replaces what was removed is already moving toward you. Nature never leaves a space empty. When something exits, something else is invited. And in your life, the replacement is not similar, it is stronger. What left was draining you quietly. What arrives restores you naturally. You may feel a pull toward new ideas, a sudden desire to reorganize your life, an urge to protect your time, your energy, your focus. That is not fear. That is wisdom activating. Here is the truth few people hear. When a hidden threat is removed, your life accelerates. But acceleration requires readiness. You will notice opportunities appearing without struggle, conversations flowing without tension, decisions making sense faster than before. This is alignment returning. The reason the earlier presents could not stay is because they were incompatible with where you are headed. They would have slowed what must now move freely. You are stepping into a phase where clarity becomes your advantage, where hesitation no longer controls you, where you stop explaining yourself to people who never truly listened. This is the shift. And listen carefully to this revelation. What is coming next does not need validation from your past. It only needs your courage. You were prepared quietly, strengthened invisibly, protected without announcement. Now your path is opening. Do not rush. Do not doubt. Do not look back. Because the chapter ahead does not include interference, confusion, or emotional weight. It includes focus, confidence, and peace that feels earned. Stay connected. The next part reveals how to recognize the moment your breakthrough fully begins, and why this time, nothing will be able to block it. Stay focused right now, because the next phase begins quietly, not loudly. Breakthrough does not arrive with noise. It arrives with certainty. You will feel it first as calm confidence. Decisions stop feeling heavy. Choices stop feeling risky. You move without asking for permission. This is how you know the path is clear. The interference that once caused hesitation is gone. And without it, your instincts become sharp again. You trust yourself faster. You recover quicker. You stop replaying old conversations in your mind. That cycle is over. Here is the revelation that shifts everything. The obstacle was never your ability. It was the presence of doubt planted by someone close. Once that presence left, your strength surfaced naturally. This is why you may suddenly feel ready to act, ready to speak, ready to move forward without looking back. That is not impulsiveness. That is alignment. You will notice fewer delays now. Responses come quicker. Doors open with less resistance. And when challenges appear, they no longer drain you. They sharpen you. This is important to understand. What was removed cannot return in the same way. Your awareness has changed. Your boundaries have matured. You see clearly now. The reason you were told not to ignore again is because the next signal will guide you forward, not warn you. You are entering a phase where intuition becomes strategy, where peace becomes power, where progress feels natural. Hold this moment, because the final part reveals why this transformation was necessary, and how to move forward without carrying any trace of the past. This is where everything settles into truth. Not the truth that hurts, but the truth that frees. What happened was not a punishment. It was precision. Every step that felt delayed was protecting you from attaching your future to the wrong influence. Every moment of confusion was buying time for clarity to arrive. And now it has. You were never meant to fight what left. That is why it exited quietly. No confrontation. No explanation. No closure that would pull you back emotionally. Because closure is not always a conversation. Sometimes it is distance that finally makes sense. Here is the final realization. If that presence had stayed, you would have dimmed yourself without noticing. You would have slowed your own growth to keep peace. You would have questioned your worth in silence. That is why the removal was necessary. You are stepping into a season where your presence alone creates impact, where your words carry weight, where your choices shape outcomes, and you do not need approval to stand there. Let the memory soften. Let the name lose its power. Let the lesson stay without the pain. You are not walking forward alone. You are walking forward aware. Do not rush to explain what you survived. Your growth will speak for you. And when you look back one day, you will not ask why it ended. You will understand why it could not continue. This is not an ending. This is alignment. Hold this truth. Carry it calmly. And move forward knowing that what was removed made room for something that truly belongs to you. Stay present. Because this part is not loud, but it is lasting. What you are stepping into now is stability. Not excitement that fades. Not intensity that exhausts. But strength that remains even on quiet days. This is the phase where your life begins to feel intentional. You will notice something important. You are no longer pulled toward what drains you. You are no longer curious about what confused you. You are no longer tempted to reopen chapters that closed cleanly. That is maturity. The reason this matters is because growth is tested in silence, not chaos. When nothing is shaking you, when no one is pulling at your emotions, when peace becomes normal. This is where real progress is built. Here is the revelation that stays with you. The removal did not just protect your future. It refined your discernment. You now recognize energy faster than words. You sense intention before explanation. You trust what your body feels, not just what your mind hears. This is power most people never develop. You will move differently now. You will choose differently. You will pause before committing your heart, your time, your plans. Not because you are afraid, because you are aware. And awareness changes everything. What once felt like loss now feels like alignment. What once felt confusing now feels necessary. You did not miss anything meant for you. You were redirected toward it. Let the past rest where it ended. Let the lesson walk with you, quietly. Let the future approach without resistance. This is not a moment to rush. This is a moment to trust. Because what lies ahead of you now does not require you to fight, prove, or defend yourself. It requires you to simply be clear. And clarity is your new protection. Stay with this feeling. Because this is where understanding becomes permanent. You are no longer asking why it happened. You are starting to see what it saved you from. That is the shift. When something harmful leaves quietly, the mind wants answers, but the soul feels relief first. You may notice you are reacting less now. Less emotional pull. Less need to explain yourself to people who never truly understood you. That is healing in motion. Here is the truth most people realize too late. Peace enters when control leaves. You are no longer trying to fix what is broken. You are no longer waiting for someone to change. You are no longer hoping clarity will come from outside. It is already inside you. The reason this part matters is because this is where old patterns lose their grip. You stop repeating cycles. You stop attracting the same energy with a different face. You stop mistaking familiarity for safety. That is growth that cannot be reversed. And listen carefully to this revelation. What was removed taught you how to protect your future without hardening your heart. You did not become closed. You became selective. That is strength. You are still kind, still open, still capable of deep connection. But now, you are anchored. You will notice people respond to you differently. Some will respect your presence more. Some will fade naturally. Both outcomes are correct. You are no longer available for confusion. You are aligned with clarity. Hold on to this awareness. Because from this point forward, you move with intention, not reaction. The past has released you. The future is responding. And you are finally walking forward without carrying what was never meant to stay. This is the moment where everything locks into place. Not emotionally, energetically. You are no longer healing. You are stabilizing. There is a difference. Healing feels like waves. Stability feels like ground. You are standing on ground now. What once triggered you no longer controls you. What once distracted you no longer tempts you. What once confused you no longer requires answers. That is how you know the cycle is complete. Here is the revelation that seals it. The removal did not change who you are. It revealed who you were becoming. You did not lose softness. You gained strength without noise. You gained clarity without force. This is rare. Most people need chaos to feel alive. You now move calmly and still progress faster than before. That is mastery. You will notice something quietly powerful. Your presence will start influencing outcomes. People will sense boundaries without you stating them. Opportunities will align without you chasing them. This is not coincidence. This is alignment responding to self-respect. You were protected not because you were weak, but because what you carry matters. And now, nothing that does not honor your peace will be able to stay close. You are not guarded. You are grounded. Let this truth settle. Let it guide your choices. Let it shape your next steps. Because from here on, you do not walk cautiously. You walk clearly. And clarity will always lead you exactly where you belong. Do not rush this part. Because this is where awareness turns into wisdom. You are no longer surprised by peace. You expect it. That alone tells you how far you have come. There was a time when calm felt unfamiliar. When silence felt empty. When distance felt like loss. Not anymore. Now, calm feels correct. Silence feels safe. Distance feels intentional. That shift did not happen overnight. It happened the moment you stopped doubting what your inner voice was telling you. Here is the truth that settles deep. You were not wrong before. You were just early. You sensed imbalance long before it showed itself. You felt discomfort before there was a reason to explain it. You noticed energy changes before words changed. That is intuition. And you finally listened. This is why the past no longer pulls at you. Because you are no longer searching for validation. You already trust your perception. You will notice now that you choose carefully where you spend time, who gets access, what you allow near your plans, not out of fear, out of respect for yourself. And here is the once in a lifetime realization. The moment you stop tolerating confusion, clarity starts choosing you. You are not chasing alignment anymore. You are living inside it. Your life is quieter now, but more powerful. You do not announce your strength. You embody it. And as you move forward, you will recognize this truth instantly. Nothing meaningful is missing. Nothing important was taken. Everything that needed to stay, stayed. You are complete in this chapter. Ready without rushing. Confident without proving. This is not the end of the message. This is the beginning of a new way of moving through life. And you are doing it right. Stay here a little longer. Because this part ties everything together. You are standing at a point where your past no longer defines your reactions. It informs your choices, but it does not control them. That is freedom. You are not replaying old moments anymore. You are not questioning what you should have said or done. You are not measuring your worth through someone else's behavior. That chapter has closed fully. Here is the truth that completes the message. When something harmful leaves quietly, it means you were strong enough to move forward without drama. You did not need chaos to wake up. You did not need conflict to grow. You simply needed clarity. And clarity arrived exactly when you were ready to carry it. You will notice now that your energy feels settled. Not rushed. Not tense. Just steady. This steadiness becomes your foundation. From here, you build differently. You speak with intention. You connect with awareness. You move without apology. You are no longer available for patterns that cost you peace. You are no longer confused by mixed signals. You are no longer drawn to what drains you. That is transformation. What was removed did its job. It revealed your strength. It sharpened your discernment. It prepared you for what comes next. Now you move forward clean, clear, centered. You do not need to look back to understand. You already know. And from this moment on, everything you allow into your life will reflect the respect you now have for yourself. This is not just growth. This is alignment becoming permanent. Stay still for this part. Because this is where strength becomes quiet confidence. You are no longer asking life to explain itself to you. You are reading it clearly. That alone changes everything. There was a time when you needed reassurance. When you needed signs. When you needed someone else to confirm what you felt. Not anymore. Now, you feel grounded before the proof appears. You trust your direction before results show up. You move with certainty even when the path is unfolding step by step. That is inner authority. Here is the realization that seals this journey. Nothing that truly belongs to you needs to be chased. It arrives in alignment, not anxiety. The reason the past no longer calls you back is because you have outgrown the version of yourself that tolerated confusion. You did not harden. You refined. You did not close your heart. You strengthened your boundaries. And this is important to understand. Boundaries do not push the right things away. They protect them. From here on, your life will respond differently to you. Situations will resolve faster. People will show their intentions sooner. Decisions will feel lighter, not heavier. Because clarity shortens the path. You are not waiting for permission anymore. You are not explaining your growth. You are simply living it. Let this awareness stay with you. Let it guide what you accept. Let it shape what you release. Because you are no longer in transition. You are established. And from this point forward, everything you build will stand on peace, self-respect, and clear intention. This is not just a lesson learned. This is a new standard set. And you are ready to live by it. Hold this moment gently. Because this part is about continuity, not closure. What you have gained is not temporary strength. It is lasting awareness. You will notice that life no longer feels like a series of emotional reactions. It feels like deliberate movement. You choose your pace now. You choose your direction. You choose what deserves your attention. That shift did not come from force. It came from understanding. There was a time when you would overextend yourself. When you would explain more than necessary. When you would stay longer than you should. Those patterns do not fit you anymore. Here is the truth that stays with you. Growth is not becoming someone new. It is returning to who you were before confusion taught you to doubt yourself. You remember that version now. The calm one. The intuitive one. The self-respecting one. This is why your life feels simpler, even if it is fuller. You are no longer carrying emotional weight that is not yours. You are no longer holding space for what does not nourish you. And because of that, what you do allow feels aligned. You are building from a clean foundation. No residue from the past. No unresolved tension. Just clarity. As you move forward, you will recognize opportunities by how they feel, not how they impress. You will recognize people by consistency, not words. That is discernment refined. Let this part settle. You are not preparing for something. You are already living inside the result. This is not a moment you will forget. It is a way of being you will keep. And from here, everything continues with ease, intention, and quiet strength. You are exactly where you need to be. Stay with me in this final stretch, because this part speaks to direction. You are no longer waiting for a sign to move forward. Your clarity is the sign. That is how you know this chapter has fully matured. There was a time when you hesitated before every decision, when you needed reassurance before every step, when uncertainty made you pause. Now, certainty carries you. Here is the realization that completes the journey. What was removed did not weaken you. It trained you to trust your inner alignment without explanation. You no longer need chaos to feel alive. You no longer need validation to feel secure. You no longer need attachment to feel whole. That is independence at its deepest level. You move differently now. Not rushed. Not hesitant. Just intentional. Your choices are quieter but stronger. Your boundaries are clearer without being spoken. Your presence is steady without effort. This is what growth looks like when it is integrated. As you continue forward, you will notice that what belongs to you arrives with ease. What does not belong falls away without resistance. That is alignment in motion. You are not guarding yourself from the world. You are walking through it with discernment. Let this be the standard you keep. Let it guide who you allow close. Let it shape what you build next. Because the path ahead does not require struggle. It requires trust. And you have learned how to trust yourself again. Remain here for this moment. Because this part speaks to permanence. What you have learned cannot be undone. Even if life becomes loud again, your center will stay quiet. That is strength you carry forward. You are no longer shaped by what happened to you. You are shaped by what you understood from it. This is where many people stop growing. But you did not. You allowed clarity to settle instead of chasing distraction. You allowed truth to replace comfort. You allowed alignment to become your standard. And that changes how life responds to you. Here is the realization that holds everything steady. When you stop reacting, life starts cooperating. You no longer need to force outcomes. You no longer need to explain your worth. You no longer need to defend your decisions. Your calm does that for you. You will notice now that situations resolve without confrontation. That misunderstandings fade without effort. That what is not meant for you removes itself naturally. This is not luck. This is awareness at work. You are not emotionally available to chaos anymore. And chaos cannot stay where it is not fed. That is mastery. From this point forward, you will build with intention. You will connect with clarity. You will move with confidence that does not announce itself. You are no longer in recovery. You are in rhythm. Let this rhythm guide you. Let it shape your pace. Let it protect your peace. Because you are not returning to who you were. You are continuing as who you have become. Stay grounded in this part. Because this is where confidence becomes natural. You are no longer performing strength. You are living it. There was a time when you had to remind yourself to stay calm, to stay focused, to stay centered. Now, it happens on its own. That is integration. Here is the truth that deepens everything. The moment you stop needing closure from others, you gain closure within yourself. You no longer wait for apologies. You no longer seek explanations. You no longer replay conversations in your mind. You have moved past the need for answers. This is why your energy feels lighter. Why your attention stays present. Why your thoughts no longer drift toward the past. You are anchored in now. And from this place, your decisions carry weight without effort. Your presence commands respect without words. Your direction feels steady without urgency. This is what self-trust looks like when it matures. You are not hard. You are whole. You did not close yourself off. You closed the door to what was never aligned. And that distinction matters. As you move forward, you will notice that life mirrors your clarity. People approach you with honesty or keep their distance. Both outcomes are healthy. You are no longer confused by mixed signals. You respond to what is real. Hold on to this awareness, because it will guide you quietly through every next chapter. You are not searching anymore. You are moving forward with understanding. And understanding is the calmest form of power. Stay present for this part, because this is where calm becomes unshakable. You are no longer affected by what once disturbed you, not because you forgot it, but because it no longer has authority over you. That is the difference. There was a time when a single thought could pull you backward. A name could change your mood. A memory could steal your focus. Not now. Now, those things pass through your mind without stopping you. Here is the realization that confirms everything. When something loses emotional power, it has already lost its place in your life. You are no longer reacting from habit. You are responding from awareness. This is why your days feel lighter, why your attention stays clear, why your energy no longer leaks into the past. You have reclaimed it. You move forward without carrying unfinished emotional weight. You make decisions without fear of repeating old patterns. You trust your judgment without hesitation. That is freedom earned. You did not escape the lesson. You completed it. And because of that, nothing similar will hold the same influence again. Your standards are higher now. Your tolerance is wiser. Your intuition speaks clearly, and you listen. This is not detachment. This is discernment refined. As life continues, you will notice how naturally you protect your peace. How easily you walk away from confusion. How confidently you choose what aligns. You are not guarding yourself from the world. You are walking through it aware. And awareness is what keeps your path clear, your heart steady, and your future uninterrupted. Stay with this moment. Because this part is about certainty. You are no longer wondering if you made the right decision. You know you did. That knowing is quiet, but it is firm. There was a time when you questioned yourself after every ending. When doubt followed distance. When peace felt temporary. Not anymore. Now, peace stays even when life moves. Here is the truth that confirms your growth. When clarity remains without effort, it means the lesson has fully settled. You are not trying to convince yourself of anything. You are not forcing acceptance. You are simply aligned. That alignment shows up in small but powerful ways. You speak less, but your words matter more. You listen carefully, but you no longer absorb what is not yours. You move forward without dragging old weight behind you. This is emotional maturity. You are no longer attached to outcomes that do not honor you. You are no longer pulled by curiosity about what ended. You are no longer tempted to reopen what closed peacefully. That door is complete. And here is the once-in-a-lifetime realization. What left your life did not take anything with it. It returned something to you. Your focus. Your confidence. Your sense of self. You are moving now from wholeness, not recovery. As you continue, you will notice how easily you recognize what fits and what does not. There is no confusion. There is no inner debate. Just knowing. You are not becoming stronger. You already are. You are simply living from that strength now. Let this awareness guide you forward. Because from this point on, nothing that disrupts your peace will be able to stay unnoticed or unchallenged. You are steady. And that steadiness is your foundation moving forward. Stay here for this moment. Because this part is about arrival. You are no longer walking toward clarity. You are standing inside it. There was a season when everything felt uncertain. When every step required effort. When progress felt delayed for reasons you could not name. That season is finished. Here is the truth that settles it all. What was removed cleared your path, not temporarily, but permanently. You are no longer negotiating with your intuition. You are no longer justifying your boundaries. You are no longer questioning your direction. You move with knowing now. This knowing does not rush you. It does not pressure you. It does not demand proof. It simply guides you. You will notice that life responds faster to you now. Not because you are forcing outcomes, but because resistance is no longer inside you. You are aligned. You no longer entertain what confuses you. You no longer chase what avoids clarity. You no longer stay where your peace is compromised. That choice has already been made within you. And here is the realization that completes the message. When clarity becomes your default, nothing misaligned can stay hidden for long. You will see truth quickly. You will feel imbalance early. You will act without regret. This is not emotional distance. This is emotional intelligence. You are fully present, fully aware, fully grounded. The past has no leverage here. The future does not intimidate you. You are steady in the now. Carry this forward. Let it shape every decision quietly. Let it protect what you are building. Because from this point on, your life does not move in circles. It moves forward, with intention, with calm, and with strength that does not need to announce itself. Stay here. Because this part is about ownership. You are no longer borrowing strength from circumstances. You are carrying it within yourself. That is the difference now. There was a time when peace depended on what others did, on how situations unfolded, on whether things went according to plan. That dependency is gone. Here is the truth that defines this stage. Nothing outside you has authority over your inner state anymore. You have crossed that line. You respond, but you are not controlled. You observe, but you are not pulled. You participate, but you do not lose yourself. This is balance. You will notice how quickly you regain calm after disruptions, how easily you return to center, how naturally you protect what matters to you. This is not effort. This is embodiment. The past no longer tests you. It informs you quietly and steps aside. And here is the realization that stays with you. What once challenged you now confirms how much you have grown. Situations that would have shaken you before now pass without leaving a mark. You are not indifferent. You are discerning. You still feel deeply, but you do not attach blindly. You still care, but you do not sacrifice clarity. That is wisdom in motion. As you move forward, you will notice life meeting you at your level of awareness. Conversations become cleaner. Choices become simpler. Outcomes become clearer. Because you are no longer confused about who you are. You are grounded in it. Let this part settle. This is not a peak. This is your baseline now. And from this place, everything you build will be stable, intentional, and real. You are not becoming someone else. You are fully stepping into yourself. Remain steady here. Because this part is about recognition. You now recognize yourself again. Not the version shaped by pressure. Not the version shaped by compromise. But the version that knows where it stands. That recognition brings calm confidence. There was a time when you adapted too much. When you adjusted your tone, your needs, your truth. When you mistook flexibility for self-erasure. That phase has ended. Here is the truth that anchors this moment. Self-respect changes the way the world interacts with you. You no longer have to announce boundaries. They are felt. You no longer have to explain your direction. It is visible. You no longer have to prove your value. It is present. This is not distance from others. This is closeness to yourself. You will notice that life feels cleaner now. Less mental noise. Fewer emotional entanglements. More space to think, to create, to live. That space is intentional. What once demanded your attention no longer qualifies for it. And here is the realization that makes this permanent. When you stop abandoning yourself, nothing else can destabilize you. You are no longer split between what you feel and what you allow. You are aligned. Your yes is honest. Your no is calm. Your presence is grounded. This is not rigidity. This is integrity. As you continue forward, you will see how naturally things organize around you. What fits stays. What does not fades without conflict. That is order returning. Let this truth stay with you. This is not a moment of effort. This is a state of being. You are not managing your life anymore. You are living it from a place of clarity, stability, and quiet strength.